Hello, hello, how you guys doing? This is good old Grandmaster of Nerd, and this is the Anonymous Puppet Network. Question is, what is wrong with big tech? What is wrong with big tech? I can tell you what's wrong. They're very, very easy. They've become too powerful. They have become arrogant. They've become beyond what you can imagine. Before Twitter, before Facebook, before YouTube, before Tumblr, before all the other ones they have now, you had MySpace. MySpace became a catch, became a real catch. Okay. Now, MySpace was this thing that got everybody's attention. You had celebrities from media, music, TV, movies, politics, you name it, the whole shebang. Even regular people that had their own MySpace page and shit like that. Athletes and shit like that. So, now, MySpace was Alta Vista of its time. Alta Vista was, before Google, a search engine. And MySpace wasn't the first social media platform. The idea of social media started in the very late 90s, early 2000s, before even MySpace came in, and was the craze of the birth of social media. Now, social means social gathering, okay? Media means news, means media, no? News about sports, music, movies, you name it. So you have social media. Social media. I like that term, social media. Social news. So MySpace became pretty big. Then out came Facebook. Facebook started out slow. It will start out by 4 people, but in Harvard, not Mark Zuckerberg. He wasn't the lone guy. 4 co-founders found and built Facebook, not Mark Zuckerberg. He didn't do it by himself, as some people say. No, he didn't. Mark Zuckerberg is about power control. He's a Rothschild. No, he's a Rockefeller. His last name may be Zuckerberg, but he's a Rockefeller. He ain't the lone wolf of Facebook. He ain't the founder. He's a co-founder with 3 other people. So a lot of you left-wing nut jobs give him too much credit, which you shouldn't have. Like Twitter. Jack Dorsey did not find or built Twitter. He stole Twitter. Now, MySpace was still growing and growing and growing. It's still around, but it's not as popular as it was back in the day. Now, Facebook was a site where you could judge college chicks. Which one's your favorite? But that kind of changed what it is today. Now, the real founder of Twitter wanted to build Twitter like a news and where anybody can tweet a article, a news article or something. Journalists use Twitter all the time. Jack Dorsey and another guy spent time plotting to steal Twitter. See, there's behind the scenes both companies, right? Both companies. See, don't get me wrong. Facebook and Twitter are pretty good. Okay, I like them both, but I don't like where it's going now. Now, YouTube for one. I've said this before in a few videos that I did. I like YouTube. I've always been a YouTube guy. I've done my vlogs on here all the time. It has a lot to offer to people, even new content creators. It gives you the ability to start a channel of your own, but when you do it, you might want to read the terms of service, the guidelines. I mean, same with Facebook and Twitter. You gotta read the TOS, terms of service, and the guidelines here. Now, when you sign up for any social media platform, you have to read the terms of service, TOS, terms of service. Now, these companies have gone and pushed a left-wing agenda by censoring. Now, here's my question. Here's my question to the three platforms that I'm on. If you create this platform, if these three platforms were created for a reason, you're giving people a service, but you're telling them now that their freedom of speech is limited on these platforms. Okay? Under the Constitution, the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, it states, people, look, Congress shall make the law, right? Right? Because people have the right to religious freedom, freedom of speech, media, peacefully assemble, to redress grievances of our government. That's the First Amendment. The important one is the freedom of speech. Okay? Freedom of speech. Facebook, for one, I've shared news articles. I would share them. But within a few hours, they're pulled. Twitter. I've had been my old channel, the Anonymous Liberty Media, was taken down because I was too I had a lot to say. But somebody at Twitter felt like, not thought, felt, because they're relying on their feelings, not their thoughts, that I was too conservative, too speaky, way too speaky, because I'm exercising my right to free speech. And they don't like what I was speaky about. Tweeting, Whether you're somebody in media yourself, whether it's somebody that's alternative media like Breitbart, or if you were a independent libertarian syndicated columnist or writer, whatever it is, and you talked about things that would give conservatives to think, to even libertarians and independents would want to read and kind of archive so they could go back and read it again. Now, YouTube, 4 years ago, in 2016, right around middle of July, there were about 35, maybe 40 channels on YouTube that were being purged off the platform. Yeah, I had that fear, I did, of my channels being part of that purge. I'm not monetized. I'm not getting paid. I guess I kind of found a way to not get purged because I'm not getting paid. I'm not doing it for money. To me, this is my therapy. This is better than going to a psychotherapist and paying that fucker $400 an hour just to vent and shit. Just open up my personal Pandora's box and just let out that rage of what's on my mind. But when I came across YouTube, I didn't know what it was. Came across it 2008, 2009. I watched videos. The more I watched, the more I want to do the same thing. I was the small fish in a big old ocean of people on a platform that would let you express your thoughts, your words, and just really get it out there, get it out there. What really made me do it was I seen the very first anonymous video. Okay. That what made me do this. And I was hooked. I was really hooked because it was something that really caught my attention. And started out slow. And by 2020, I had more videos on my first channel, more videos than subscribers. Okay. On this channel, I have 599 subscribers. And it'll be 5 years, let's see. Yeah, it'll be 5 years this December 15th. And I hope that this video right here would help me hit 600. I worked so hard, like any other content creator. I worked so hard in 5 years on this channel than I have on my original channel, which I've had for almost 10 years, be 9 years in November. And started out November of 2011. I mean, I feel happy about doing it because it was something that really made me feel good about myself doing this, because the more I talk, the more the weight is off my shoulder. Because usually I would bottle stuff up. The more I talk and talk, I feel better at the end of the day. Now, social media, MySpace, Facebook, Twitter. MySpace was out the door and Facebook was coming in. Facebook was the new kid on the block. Twitter was the same way. Almost about the same time they're coming in. Mid 2000s. And then out of the blue, here comes Tumblr. Like, dude, Tumblr. Another new kid on the block. Which I have a account with, a profile with Tumblr. Tumblr is kind of like a college rock band, you know, that college radio station you want to, or that garage college station here on the radio at your local college or community college that play the really cool tunes and have that talk radio type stuff. I like it. Then over time, again 4 years ago, something started to happen. Facebook started to change from what it was when it began to something really fucked up. Twitter the same way. People are becoming angry, so angry that they actually left Facebook for an alternative. See, this is when the alternative social media started to rise. Okay, started to rise. Minds started to rise. You know, Minds was a encrypted social media. It was doing something that Facebook wasn't doing. And to Facebook, Minds is nothing. Not a threat. Bullshit. You had the freedom to say what you want and not get censored for it. Then here comes MeWe. Same thing. You have the freedom to say what the fuck you want and not get censored for it, you know. You can say what's on your mind and not get censored. You can also even post articles of a news platform like Breitbart, Sputnik, RT, One American News, and other outlets, and not get censored and not have it removed. You also had alternatives to YouTube, VidMe. which wasn't out there long, but all of a sudden it went gone. But now we have BitChute. BitChute is a alternative to YouTube, which same thing. It's the alternative to YouTube where you can post any video you want and not get judged or censored for it. Gab. Gab is another one that you can't find it on any iOS or any Google Play Store, App Store. But you can download MeWe and Minds. Holiness, Holonis, Holiness. I have 200 followers on that platform. I could post things and not get censored. Period, And we have Parler, Parler. A lot of people are using it. Dan Bongino, Laura Loomer. Oh, I like her. A lot of conservatives are on Parler. You won't get judged, you won't get censored at all, it won't be any of that shit. These are alternative platforms that are on the rise, and they're giving the big three a run for the money. Big time. And people are starting to notice. Now you have Rumble, Rumble. The reason I'm also mentioning Tumblr is Tumblr still has a chance. I believe Tumblr still has a chance, okay? How many of you are on Tumblr right now? How many of you are posting videos of yourself or news articles and stuff like that? And Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, the big three platforms, are censoring a news article that the New York Post came out with about Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden. And Twitter blocked to share that article. So did Facebook. And anybody that shared anything about QAnon, Facebook is removing all that shit out there. And they're saying that QAnon is this conspiracy theorist, whoever they are, nobody knows. And they're trying to clean the slate clean off the platforms of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Now, this year, early this year, beginning of this year, early to say mid this year, between those months, Susan Wojcicki was on CNN and ABC News and said the same thing. If anybody speaks out against the WTO, the WHO, the World Health Organization, and in the same video, if you mention the WHO, the CV-19, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, whatever that is, which will work. That very video you upload would be removed due to a policy violation. I wonder why. I know for a fact that a lot of us want to know why. But we'll probably won't get the answer, period, all. But here we got Facebook, which came out a few years, a couple years after, we'll say 2-3 years after MySpace came out. Maybe just a shade longer than after MySpace came out. I've never tried to sign up to get a MySpace page because I didn't have a computer at the time. I didn't have a smartphone at the time. I was totally phoneless. You know, only phone that we had was my ex-wife had a phone at the time, and well, that's another case, whatever. But we didn't have all that. At the time, the internet was a dial-up. You plug in your phone line to the computer, and you would click, do all that crap and all that AOL shit. But over the last 15 years, I can admit that people have been changed due to social media. There has been a lot of people that have becoming stars over time on platforms like Vine and Instagram, which was a rival to Facebook, and all of a sudden the rival became property of the owner of the beady-eyed, Jew-throwing little bastard named Mark Zuckerberg, because like his great-great-great-grandfather, John D. Rockefeller, he didn't like competition. He kicked out 3 other co-founders of the very platform he co-founded. Not founded, he co-founded. And made it in the Rockefeller image. That means if there was a company like, say, WhatsApp was doing something that his Messenger wasn't doing, and an encryption that people use to send messages to each other, that's encrypted from one end to the other. You know what? I like that term, end-to-end encryption, because about that, there's always that company that would say, well, if you use this in exchange to where if you let us read your messages, it's that cloud encryption type thing, and cloud encryption type shit, where you would send a text to the person you're talking to, goes to the cloud, and all of a sudden, beep, 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 they start sitting there. They store it. Then the message is read by them. Then all of a sudden, the person you're texting to reads the message. Now, Signal doesn't have a backer. Signal have no stored of anything. Signal, all it needs is a phone number. And it is end-to-end encryption. There's no middleman involved in that sending of the private message. And what really bugs me is, during the golden age of social media, MySpace started to become kind of like AOL of its time. Really dying off, but still around, like a lingering fart owned by Justin Timberlake. who owns that lingering fart. I know that kind of sounds weird on how I put it, but that's how it is. So right after Facebook and Twitter came in, really give people something to really talk about. Plus, if you owned a gaming console like a PS3 and a Xbox 360, you start to build up your console, all other shit. And once you got the internet hooked up to your Xbox or PS3, you got a chance to have Facebook and Twitter on your gaming console. So which I think is pretty cool, because you get to talk to your friends and family and other people on a console. Pretty cool. But now there's alternate versions of Facebook and Twitter on your Xbox One and PS4. It's kind of cool how things are becoming more advanced than its predecessors before. Like cell phone, home computer, gaming console, cars, radio, all other shit, MP3 players, and all that. So things have changing over the last 15 years. So you have Instagram that comes in. Instagram is area like Vine. Vine is a pretty good platform. I like it. I used to have it, but Twitter bought it, and then all of a sudden, what's that in the field, man? That's Vine. Huh, okay, well, whatever. So people started to really like Instagram. Ordinary people have become stars of their own right on Instagram, as well as they did on Vine. Vine was like just a platform, just a ground, the foundation of becoming a celebrity. But a celebrity area where you're a model, you're into music videos, then all of a sudden you start to have backers to have a career in modeling and posing for magazines like Car Mags and shit like that. And what's also crazy about social media, it's all about numbers. It's all about numbers. Now, Lily Pons, very, very pretty gal from Venezuela, started out on Vine. So did, what's the name Espada, cute brunette from Colombia. And a lot of people that sort of started on Vine ended up on Instagram, and then from Instagram to YouTube. And today Espada from Colombia. She just had a baby this year. Congratulations to her. And I watch her videos on Instagram and also on YouTube, because they're funny. They're funny because when you are dating a Latina, okay. Now if you're a guy dating a Latina, whether you're white, black, or Colombian or Honduran, whatever, Latinas, you don't want to piss them off, dude. I mean, I've heard stories from a few guys online and in forums and like that, and they don't forgive very easily. They don't forget. They're like a black woman. They do not forget. They do not forget. No. They are Women are worse than the FBI, CIA, and NSA combined. They are, because they do talk. They do talk. Okay, they do talk, and they will. They are the worst. They are the better spies than the three agencies: FBI, CIA, and you name it, because they have friends. They have friends. They're like this. Okay, they're like this. They're like this. Okay, no bullshit. And they will, because if they're guys, okay, if they're guys, all of a sudden doing some stupid shit, they're gonna know about it. They're gonna know about it. Okay, they're gonna know about it, and they're gonna find a way to put it in their little file, and they're gonna hold it as evidence to hold it over your head. That if you, the guy who fucked up for some reason or another, they're gonna go in their little file. Okay, pull up the file, and they're gonna put you on the chair in a table with a light over your face, sweating you out, and they're gonna bring out this file. Boom. Here. And guys, we may be sneaky, we may be clever on shit. Okay, I'm a guy. I know this shit too. Okay, I've tried it, and trust me, I got caught a couple times, but it was still over my head, man. So, if you think you're gonna hide your shit on social media, guess what? Your woman has friends on social media. And don't think that you're going to create another account on the very same platform or another one, because your woman may have a profile on the very same platform that you're sneaking around on, and her friends might have the same platform with another profile on that very same platform. So you can be sneaky all we want, but your woman has friends. Okay, your woman has friends. And they're not stupid. Now, there are women out there that are in another universe, because they're always on their menstrual cycle when they get idle and full throttle. It's bitch. No, that shit. But your woman has friends. Okay? Now, we could be sneaky, we could be all but we're gonna have that little lady, that little woman, we're gonna have that feeling like, that, yeah, but never ever, okay? Make sure that if you're gonna sit in the chair, okay, and to look at chicks, make sure you ain't by a window, because your woman might be looking over your shoulder while you're looking at that cochina with a big hoo-hoo. And your dog will let you know by looking at the window and looking at you back saying, "Carnal, you're fucked." Wife looking. you're fucked. Because your dog may be your man's best friend, but also he's your silent alarm by the face they make when they look at the window, look at your dog, then, hi honey, who is she? Who's that picha cochina? Oh, it's nobody. See, social media can get you in a lot of trouble, okay? Because social media is like an archive. The internet is an archive system. Whatever you post, whatever you share, it is in the archive. Whether it's in your computer or in your phone. It is archived. And you know that if you're on Twitter and you're tweeting a nice cochina, just make sure you know what you're doing. Now, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, see, social media is fun to be on. You get to talk to people, be part of a group, But sometimes I watch videos of this shit. I have. I watch videos where guys are stupid enough to lay their phone on the table, on the couch, or right next to their side of the bed. And when they're not paying attention, their woman is going to find a way to know, kind of like, who you're texting, who's texting you, who you called, who called you. They're going to be those kind of women that are going to be jealous. And the jealous types you have to stay the fuck away from. And ladies, same thing. If your guy is jealous as fuck, just like a jealous woman to a guy, leave them. Because they're insecure. Okay? They are insecure. And sometimes, whether you're in a relationship with a woman, or a woman with a man, or if you're in a gay relationship, same thing, whether you're a woman that's in a relationship with another woman, or a guy that's in a relationship with another guy, same thing. There's that jealous person, or the one that's so controlling, are the worst ones. Now, if you want to be with somebody, now, sometimes technology, big tech, can be a pain in the ass. I would say give it time before you decide to show your naughty side. Because there's gonna be like a lot of cochinas and cochinos that would want to show their shit, like all that shit. But you have to be careful and watch what you do on social media. Now, people do cheat. There are male players and there are female players. There are women that do play. There are women that are players, and there's guys that are players. They don't give a rat's ass about whoever, but they just want to get some of that type of shit, And don't care. A woman can be stringing up, say, three guys at the same time, and until it blows up in her face. A guy, same thing, can string along 2, 3, maybe even 4 chicks at the same time, but until it blows up in his face. Because maybe the guy doesn't know that the 4 chicks he's stringing along could be related or could be friends. Or for a woman, what if the guys are related or, again, friends? Or 4 different guys, not even related, not even friends, but kind of getting caught between this love square, as you would put it, or like a triangle, whatever it is, but it is insane. It is insane. Now, my last video that I did, I had a comment by somebody saying, "You are drunk. You look like you're drunk," or something like that. I don't drink. Why? Because I am a diabetic. I'm a diabetic. October of 2014, I was diagnosed with diabetes. And I've talked about it before. Is it scary? Yeah. To me, it is, because there've been people have died due to complications to diabetes. Type 1, type 2 diabetes. Some have lost a foot, a leg. They've lost limbs. They lost their vision, and it is scary, because you're losing pieces of yourself because of this problem. Diabetes can be genetic through family who's also diabetic. Women that have a child that are 9 months and above, 9 pounds and above, are prone to become diabetic. My son's mom gave birth to my son in 99. My son was 9 pounds, 11 ounces. When I was born, I was 9 pounds, 3 ounces. My son was 8 ounces bigger than me when I was born. My son was 8'11". 9 pounds, 11 ounces. And so, diabetes is a very scary if you manage it. If you go to the right people who would help you manage that, and also they'll have you go to a place where you can learn how to eat, learn how to have portions, learn about your small portions, learn about grams and shit like that. So, I went 2 years ago, for almost a year. Awesome teacher, just cool. And also passed. I passed everything. I did pretty good. But a nurse practitioner that I'm seeing now wants me to go back. I said, no, I'm not going back. I put my foot down. I said, I ain't going back. I've been there, done that. I have a certificate for it. I weigh 247 pounds, 46 pounds. Let me say that. Well, I'm in the 240 range, 240, the mid to late 240 range, 5 range, well, right there. What is wrong with big tech? Again, you have the alternatives. Again, I mentioned Minds, MeWe, Gab, Parler, Holliness, and BitChute. And there's new ones that are coming out that are giving you the power to control. It's like the black phone of social media, man. You have the power to right in your hands, man. You know. Um, Privacy is one thing. Privacy and security are two different things but we have a right to have security and privacy. And every time when there's a solution to a problem, there's always those people that are willing to sell their soul for $1 billion contract, $1 billion in government contracts to siphon any kind of information through advertisement. Why? Why? Okay. So, what is the solution to the problem that Twitter, Facebook, and even YouTube is doing? The big three are good platforms to have, but the heads of these platforms don't give a shit. They don't. They never have. Google, who owns YouTube, Facebook, who owns WhatsApp and Instagram. The founders of both Instagram and WhatsApp left Facebook because Mark Zuckerberg was letting all the power go to his head because he's a Rockefeller. His last name may be Zuckerberg, but he is still a Rockefeller. And every time he is summoned to Congress to testify, he lies. And we know he lies because when the questions he's getting, these questions are making him sweat. That's why you see him drink the water. If you notice, the questions he's not used to these kind of questions because he's a Harvard graduate that have never faced these kind of questions before because he became one of 4 youngest billionaires. And the 2 companies he bought, he threatened the co-founders, saying either you sell to me or I'm gonna buy. Basically, it's the soon-to-be big man threatening the little guy who's just wanna be part of capitalism, part of something, okay, part of something. And if you're a big company like Facebook and you got Instagram, who you deem a threat, a rival company, because people are going on there more than Facebook, and it kind of fucked up your psyche because his great grandfather did the same thing with Standard Oil. He, through force, bought out all these small companies. That's why the antitrust laws was put in for a reason. And to save his ass, he would throw money at key members of Congress and the Senate to save his ass. But when a joint force of both Demo and Repubs brought in the four, Amazon, Apple, Google, and Facebook, the four got roasted. And they hated it. They hated it. So, Facebook offered, what was it, $7 billion for Instagram. And then here comes WhatsApp. WhatsApp was no longer it was a end-to-end encryption messaging service like Telegram and like Wicker and Signal. And this was the time when people started using Facebook Messenger. And WhatsApp was encrypted end to end. There was no middleman. There was no storage. None of that, like what Signal's doing. So, Facebook Messenger was not encrypted. Facebook can read your message. It could remove the message that you posted on Bing, and also remove you from Messenger, because it can. So again, in the tradition of a Rockefeller, Zuckerberg gave them a choice, gave them kind of a stern warning. Because Mark Zuckerberg contacted the founder of Snapchat, because Mark Zuckerberg wanted to own Snapchat. And because he felt that they were competing with him, which they are. Well, Lindsey Graham asked him, Mr. Zuckerberg, what is your biggest rival? And he went to a point where he took a Ford versus Chevy comparisons, because Ford, Chevy, and Dodge are rivals. That's why they're the big three. And Zuckerberg made an excuse. Well, we're all there. Well, his rivals was Instagram until he bought it. And he threatened the founder of Snapchat into either you sell me your company or I'm going to buy it out. Basically threatened him. Like a Rockefeller, he did not want competition. That is a Rockefeller for you. Do not want competition. And what was the big fuck up is that now, when MySpace was still around, before becoming that lingering fart that Justin Timberlake bought, MySpace wanted to buy Facebook for $1 million, or about a couple mil. Mark Zuckerberg agreed if he get 2.2 million or 1.2 million, which they couldn't swing. That was the only time that Facebook was going to be bought, which should have been done. And with the purchase of Facebook, it would have made the founders of MySpace very wealthy. And Mark Zuckerberg would have been on an island of ill repute. Kick himself in the ass for selling a company that's worth billions. Now, Twitter's another story. There's another guy that founded Twitter. He wanted Twitter to be like a news, kind of a social news type thing, as is now, where information can be posted, tweeted. You could tweet, retweet as many times. You could put a comment with the retweet. And down the line, Jack Dorsey, that fucking weasel, him and another guy stole Twitter from the original founder. And they're sitting on billions of dollars. And once they got to control, they fired the founder of Twitter. Look it up. The Rise and Fall of Twitter on YouTube. Check it out. Also look at the rise and shame of Facebook on YouTube. I mean, it is what it is, you know. I mean, you gotta understand that social media is a dog-eat-dog world. It's like banking. It's like the auto industry. It's like, what? I mean, it's one thing that you gotta understand. It is a dog-eat-dog world. No, social media. No, media. Sports, you know, any kind of industry that creates capitalism and shit is a dog-eat-dog world. But now we have alternatives to these three companies. Now YouTube, again, I'm a YouTube guy. I like YouTube, but I also like a alternative to YouTube because YouTube's doing the same thing again as they did 4 years ago. Now, what happened 4 years ago was really insane and fucked up. Because one stupid motherfucker from the Wall Street Journal lied. And that one lie was a lie. Caused companies to pull their money, their ad revenue money off of YouTube. And that's why a lot of content creators lost money. Because they get paid through ad revenue on their channel. Whatever you click on a channel, there's a commercial on that channel. You make money that way. Depends on how many views you have on your video. Now, if I was to make some money on this channel with 599 subscribers, I'd be rolling in dough, but not very much, because before Patreon, before Subscribestar, before all the you got paid through YouTube, and you made some good money, and some of them made it a job, a full-time job. But ever since mid-July of 2016, content creators have lost 90% of their revenue because of the media. Now, CNN has also caused trouble for content creators because if you really think about it for a moment, guys, just for a moment, if you go to, say, Alex Jones before he was booted off YouTube, how many subscribers he had, how many views on his videos that he had per video, how many views does alternative media television with Christopher Green has per video? PewDiePie, for one, the number one YouTuber, 100 million subscribers. CNN doesn't have those numbers that PewDiePie has per video. He's doing what I'm doing. How he's doing it is completely his own. Each video has ranked more views per video than Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, even the Next News Network with Gary Frenchie. But even he has more viewers on his videos than CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox News. See, these small YouTube news guys have more views on their channels than any mainstream media network. They have more views than the Young Turks. The Young Turks have lost themselves. See, the Young Turks have become YouTube's darlings for almost 15 years. For a long time. Don't get me wrong, in the earlier days, the Young Turks were pretty good. I liked them. But all of a sudden, they started to become something they were against. They become like Snopes, Vice, Vox. I like Vice to a certain degree, to a little smith degree, because they had documentaries, whether I believe it or not, but so they're worth watching. They become Snopes. A lot of these independent, left-wing, Bernie Sanders type platforms. Now you even have Tim Pool. I like Tim Pool. The dude is pretty cool. Joe Rogan is really rising big. Guy is pretty smart. Tim Pool is a very smart guy. Caitlin Bennett, gorgeous young woman from Kent State University. These college kids have no idea what the hell they're talking about at all. They're not getting the information that's out there. Because they rather be brainwashed like people who are in the MK Ultra program. They are snivelly, whiny little overgrown babies at these overpriced daycare centers called universities. And they have professors who have an agenda, and they'll use them for their benefit. And they'll even do it through social media. They'll threaten somebody, even on social media. Twitter won't do anything about it, but if you're a conservative that does it, you're gone. If you're a liberal, progressive, or socialist, hey, keep doing it. We like what you're doing. But if I did anything like that, I'm gone. And that's where big tech is fucking up right there. See, a little over 20 hours ago, I had an article that I shared pulled by Facebook. And they would pull anything that they don't like. Okay, well, if you don't like it, why pull it? You know, it ain't for you to decide because it's on my page, my Facebook page, my Twitter page. What gives you the right to do that? You know, what gives you the right to do that? Even on YouTube, what gives you the right to pull my video or my tweet or my comment without notifying me? Before you pull any shit, give the person a notification and a reason that you're pulling the video, you're pulling the tweet, and you're pulling the post the person is sharing on the very platform you have over billions of people on. But even though that 1.3 million are leaving each year, and out of that 1.3 million people who have left, they're shutting down. They're getting away from social media. They're going to the alternative to Facebook. They're going to the alternative to YouTube. They're going to the alternative to Twitter. Okay? What these heads of these platforms are doing is they're not thinking. They're not thinking, okay? They're not thinking. The reason there's alternatives, it gives you, the human being, man or woman, the choice of staying with the platform that's censoring people that you know and people you see who have had a post, a tweet, or a video removed. Stay or go. I have Minds, MeWe, Gab, Parler, Holliness, BitChute, and Rumble. But I also have Tumblr. I like Tumblr. It's because it may be in that time where it came along, like around with Facebook and Twitter. I like it. It's a good platform. It's like a college garage band radio. No, like a more of a college garage radio station. That's hip, cool. Let you be you. Let you be you. But even though they kind of did pretty well on censoring anything X-rated, because you know what? Teens come on here. You know, teens under 18 see this shit and they're like, what the fuck, dude? But like, oh yeah, I wonder. But you see that shit on Twitter. On Twitter, yeah, of course you do. But Facebook, they kind of don't want that X-rated shit, you know. That's a good thing, you know, because you have teens who have Facebook, you know, like And I want to see at least something cleaned up. Clean up their act. I mean, you're going to do that shit on Pornhub and shit. And other. I mean, if you want to have a social media type thing that's where you want to show yourself getting pork grind up the butt crack, start that kind of social media crap for amateurs and professional shit. Don't put it on Twitter. Don't put it on anything, because there's teens there's teens that will see this shit. Twitter needs to clean. These platforms need to clean up their act. Clean up their act, man. I mean, but in a way, you do have freedom of speech. Am I wrong for saying it? Maybe, yeah, of course. But also, Minds, MeWe, Gab, Parler, Holliness, BitChute, Tumblr. They let you be you. And this is what's wrong with the big three tech companies, including Apple. Look, don't get me wrong. I will be completely honest about Apple from where I'm standing. Apple has done a pretty good job. But as a iPhone owner, now, Steve Jobs knew the truth before he died. He did. Don't get me wrong. The iPhone, awesome device. Awesome device. People use it, whether they're in banking, finance, whether they're in basically any profession. The phone can be used to carry files of information for any kind of work. And same with the Android phone. Awesome phone. In fact, I own an Android phone. This is my phone. This is my daily driver. This is my Moto E6 by Motorola. It's Android. And I like it. It's a pretty good platform, pretty good phone. It's open source. Now, the one thing that does bug me about Apple in a way, but I don't blame them, is that they're closed off. They're closed off from, and Microsoft is kind of like both Android and Apple. But I do have a Alcatel One Touch Fierce XL with Windows 10. And the reason I have that phone is it still works. I can still make calls, get calls, text, and get all stuff like that. I can also take pictures, videos. I can upload it to YouTube, Facebook, or call it. But the thing is, the new Duo phone, the foldable smartphone, can be used if you want to play a game on your Xbox on your device. Pretty cool. But it's always a but. Now, I mentioned again, technology has really advanced over time. It evolved, per se. cell phone, game console, home computer. The automobile also evolved. And the way we listen to music. Back in the day, you listened to vinyl records on record players. Until the CD, portable CD player. And you could also install it in your car. But to do that, you have to install it in your fucking trunk. And to change it, you gotta pull over on the side of the road, open your fucking trunk, take out the CD, put in a new one, get back, close the trunk, get back in your car. There you go. That is a headache. And whoever idea it was that must have got kicked in the ass at least a dozen times every day until he felt bad for the driver that had to pull out the CD from the trunk where you store it, right at the trunk. But like the Walkman, we had cassettes. You had a portable Walkman. You played your tape, turn it over, play it. But with CDs, didn't need to do that. Just a compact disc plays your music. And then we have VHS, the way we watch movies. You had Beta and VHS. Beta started out in the 70s. VHS came out in the 80s. Did better than outsold. Beta was no longer obsolete. And as some of you remember, my age, your parents' VCR was about now the most expensive ones were about $2,000. It cost you almost same as buying a used fucking car. $2,000. You got a cheap one for about $300. That was the cheapest one back in the day. And if you decide to fuck it up, your parents look at you and then say, "You break that. So my foot, Junior. So my foot, it'll be breaking up in your ass." Oh man. Now after time, the price of the VCR started to drop. And right around the 90s came around, you could buy a pretty good VCR for a good $100 at a Walmart, Target, or some tech store or something like that for a good $100, or maybe even less than that. And over time, you started to see DVDs. And you still went and got the same movie, whether it's on VHS or DVD. And then the 2000 came around. You had a combo of VHS DVD player combo, which was not too bad. But the VHS started to die off and started to become obsolete. If y'all remember the episode on Futurama, Fry watched VHS tapes that were totally obsolete, no longer movies no more. And at the end of the episode, came out to work, hair all fucked up, didn't shave for about a month and shit. Now phones, now cell phones. I know people my age remember the big old brick phones and shit from back in the 80s and shit. You see rappers carry the brick phones. You guys fucking know that one. Drug dealers, gang bangers, rappers had these phones like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they carried them like a purse and used it like it was nothing, dude. Portable cell phone they carry like a goddamn purse. They got a phone call. They even plugged it into their car. Put in their BMW, their Cadillacs, their Lincolns and shit, you know. Doing their illegal shit, you know. Phones cost about $1,000, $2,000. But now, you could probably find one at a flea market for a good $30 and not worth using. You take it home and you're kind of wondering, why do I have this ancient piece of shit? But it brings you back 40 years ago, man. It brings you back 40 years. It's funny. Because as kids, our parents still use the rotary phone, dude. Our parents at the time still used a rotary phone. Imagine a millennial trying to use a rotary phone. I mean, imagine a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old now, okay? This is some funny shit. A millennial using a 40-year-old, nearly 50-year-old rotary phone. How do you use it? How do you use my phone, man? Because they're so used to what they have now. They're handed everything. They're handed to them. No idea how to understand that. When I was younger, I used my parents' old ass rotary phone. And that's when you know you're getting older, because now you have at your home a cordless phone, man. And I'm 44 years old. Okay, I'm 44 years old. I know I am. Look at this, right here. I still remember my parents buying their first touch-tone telephone for the house. My mom at the time bought a 15-foot phone cord that would plug into the socket into the wall into the phone. And she would move the phone from the living room, the kitchen, the family room, and even into the bathroom or in the kitchen. And this was a 15-foot. I mean, of course, 15 foot is like, but even my dad at times got frustrated because here they're using a 15 foot, nearly 20 foot phone cord from the wall to the phone. And this was when I was in high school, man. And I graduated in 95. And my mom was still using these long ass phone cords that was stuck to the wall socket, the phone socket, to the phone. And I laugh to this day, because cell phones, from the big ass brick ones, the phones got smaller and smaller, but they tend to be different. Microsoft tried the whole phone thing. They came out with a Palm Top PC. It was kind of a small computer slash phone. It had Microsoft CE. I bought one about 2 years ago for like $48. It had no backing to cover the batteries. I had to use tape. It works, but I bought it with nothing. It was just a pump up PC with a little thing, little title there, and it had nothing. It's like somebody just stripped it up, left the stylus on the thing. Don't get me wrong. The Palm Top PC was something that was completely throughout the 90s, okay? Throughout the 90s. These were about $350 to $600. This was a new revolutionary of computing. I mean, of course, you're going to have the big old laptops that were coming out, and that changed the game. The laptop changed the game because you don't have the tower, you don't have the big ass screen, and this keyboard. It's all in one laptop. Started to evolve into a different change. So now gaming. The gaming industry has changed within the last 45 years. Okay. Atari, Nintendo, Sega, Jaguar, ColecoVision, all these different gaming consoles were revolutionary. It changed the way gaming was done. Completely different. Now, out went the cartridge, okay? Atari, Sega, Jaguar, Nintendo, until 98, 99. The CD revolution started to change the whole gaming thing, because you install the little disc that changed even PC play. The whole entire what we're doing now with these little discs. You have it on your Xbox. You have it on your PlayStation. You have it on your Wii. And Nintendo also had the GameCube. The GameCube was pretty kind of changed the game for Nintendo. If Sega came back and kind of taking a playbook out of Xbox and PlayStation, it would have been a fourth. I mean, it would have been a, how you say, a wild card, because Sega did something completely different, but did it first. So, the heads of Sega didn't think it would be. The idea's there, the console's there, it's done, it's made. Put it out there and let the people decide that. Sega was the first one to do the whole online play shit, but the heads didn't think that it would be that the player would enjoy the online play, right? But Xbox, Microsoft, changed the game. Changed the game. Now, PlayStation 1 did something first, okay? At the time, you used a boombox that had AM, FM, cassette, CD. Okay. PlayStation, Sony, with the first PlayStation, besides playing games, you can also play CDs, music. Now, here's something that Microsoft and Sony did at the same time, which was also revolutionary. Besides playing games and listening to music, you could watch movies. Besides playing online. Xbox Live, PlayStation Network. Awesome. And now you could watch. Now here's something that I learned when I first. Here's something I learned when I first got my Xbox 360. You could watch television, internet TV, if you hooked up your Xbox 360 to your computer and watch TV stuff on your Xbox, on your TV, through your Xbox to your computer. It's internet television. Dude, this was big, man. This was before Netflix, okay? This was before Hulu. This was before any of these TV apps on your device. This was something that was completely a game changer. A huge game changer, folks. I mean, I sat there for an hour and watched foreign television from different. I watched foreign TV from 8 different countries, and I was blown away. I was personally blown away. I mean, I was literally blown away. And that's when I knew something big in the gaming industry. It is going to shot put itself way past the movie industry, and the TV. You name it. It did. Oh man. It did. Now, on your console, on your PlayStation, on your Xbox, you can download an app where you can watch TV. TV. You don't need Xfinity. You don't need all this crap. You know they'll cost you arm and a leg, right? You don't need that shit. All you need is an internet access, Wi-Fi. Hook up your Xbox, your TV, download TV app. They don't cost you nothing. And you have unlimited choice of what the fuck you want to watch. You can live off grid and do this same shit. Download the app on your console or your tablet, whatever, and watch what you want to watch and not pay a fucking thing. If you have a Wi-Fi access someplace, or have it in your vehicle, have it installed in your vehicle, or if you're living in an RV, off grid, there's your access to your TV, man, right there. You can watch your sports, you can watch your TV, movies, you name it. You got it there. And this is what I felt when I first hooked up my Xbox 360. I was literally fucking blown away. Blown away. No bullshit. The whole online play. You get to play with people from across the globe. Okay? Australia, UK, Canada, United States, Mexico, all over the world. People who all they want to do is play. It's another industry that has gotten people together. Cars brought people from all walks of life from across the globe together. Gearheads, car nuts. One of many industries that brought people together in a peaceful way. Food, same thing. If you're a food person, food had brought people together on a peaceful scale. Music, same thing. If you love music, got people together. And now, gaming. It don't matter if you're in the UK, Australia, Canada, Mexico, United States, Brazil, Europe, Russia, doesn't matter. If you're a gamer and you're online, you play a good game, don't matter if it's a PC or a console or your phone. Gaming has brought people together. It has brought people together more than social media. That's a fact, Jack. If you're a car guy, food guy, if you're a gamer from across the globe, and you're brought together for that peaceful reason, just want to play, drive a fast, nice car, eat some nice, good food, listen to some really good music that calms the soul of humanity. These things have brought people together. Not through violence, not through war, but the love of food, cars, music, and again, gaming, PC, console, whatever, in a peaceful way, for the love of talking to somebody, meeting somebody from across the pond, across the border, in a very awesome, in a cool way. I believe this because it's a good thing that everybody, these four things have gotten people together, more people together than social fucking media. That's right. How many people right now are online playing, talking to somebody from Europe, France, Sweden, Russia, Japan, Mexico, Canada, even across the border, across state lines, talking to their buddy who lives in another state, in a country. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Whether you're black, white, Asian, European, whatever you are, it has brought people together because it's the love of something. Gaming, music, food, cars. It's an awesome thing, man. It's an awesome, awesome thing. I believe that because you have cultures, Australia, Brazil, Russia, Japan, the Middle East, here in the States, you have car nuts. I mean, whether you have a little Hot Wheel or an actual big ass car, you are a car nut. You're a car nut. You are look. Whether you're a passenger in a nice muscle car, tuner, truck, whatever it is, whether you're sitting in a parking lot, there's a car meet, it's still an awesome, awesome thing. Please share this video. If you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification, and if you got this transmission, you are the resistance. I am Grandmaster Revan. Knowledge is free. Knowledge is power. Always be healthy, well, and wise. I love you guys to death, all of my heart. But again, please share this video and share it, and I will see you all, awesome, awesome people, in the next kick-ass, awesome video. Peace.